Good evening, everybody. If you are watching us live, and welcome to Jackie's and Bill's Salon. My name is David Kalhous. I'm a pianist, and I will play for you the Bach Goldberg variations. So maybe a little bit about myself. I am originally from the Czech Republic, but I've been living in the States for quite some time, performing. But also teaching. So today I'm actually coming to you from Florida State University, from my studio where I teach my students. I'm a professor of piano here. Yes, I wish this could have happened in person because I have been playing at Jackie's salon for many years. Actually, I would think that maybe one of my first performances in the United States, were at Jackie's. So I really value her support and friendship, and I wish when this pandemic is over, we'll be able to do this in person again. So in the meantime, because this is a long piece, and I would like to give you maybe just a short idea of what this is about. The Goldberg variations by Bach are, of course, a set of variations based on a theme of an aria. And what is very interesting about this set of variation is that what is actually being varied throughout the whole piece is not the melody, it's not the soprano that you usually hear, but it's the bass. So this is what you are going to hear in the bass. I'll play for you. So this is 32 bars, 32 measures of a bass line on which Bach erects this amazing edifice that takes over an hour, sometimes even longer, to perform. And what is very interesting is to look at the symmetry of it all, because you actually have 32 notes, 32 measures, and 32 pieces, 32 variations, including the aria, which actually repeats at the beginning and at the end. And each variation has also, obviously, 32 bars. There are further subdivisions of the piece, so you can think of the whole variation set as consisting of groups of three. In each of those triplets, you will hear one kind of like fast invention-like piece, very technical and very you see a lot of slitter runs and stuff like that. There will be maybe like a dance, like a baroque dance, means a jig or a minuet or another aria, and you're also going to hear a canon. So each groups of three actually has one canon, meaning that one voice enters, the other one enters a little bit later. Initially, the first canon is actually in one, but as we continue, the voices tend to enter on the second, on the third, on the fourth, on the fifth, all the way to the 10th. So this is another very interesting unifying factor in these Goldberg variations, that each set of three contains this canon, which really sounds like any fugue by Bach. You could argue. This piece is a very interesting history. People don't quite know why Bach wrote Goldberg variations, because the fact is that variations were not his favorite genre. He felt that variations as such are too limiting, meaning that you have to kind of stick to the same blueprint, to the same melody, to the same harmony, and it doesn't allow for a lot of invention, for a kind of really profound compositional inventive process. So we don't really have very many variation cycles by Bach. He wrote one small one for keyboard. Before this, he has variations for organ, but it's a it's a genre that he wasn't very interested in. So it's a little bit of a mystery that he actually went and wrote this piece of these proportions. One idea, which has been partially disputed by historians, but I will tell you about it because I think it's quite interesting and rather amusing. And this appears in a book by Bach's first biographer, Johann Nikolaus Fokker, who writes that the variations were written in response to a commission by the Russian envoy to the Dresden court, Imperial Court Hermann Karl von Kaiserling. And it was written for the resident harpsichordist of this count, Johann Gottlieb Goldberg. That's why the Goldberg variations. And this is the quote. On the occasion of the count, gave Bach to understand that he would like to have some clavier pieces for his Goldberg, meaning the musician, the harpsichordist, which would be soothing and rather cheerful in character, and which might raise his spirits somewhat during his sleepless nights. Because apparently this duke or this count suffered through insomnia. So what happened was that when he couldn't sleep, he would call his harpsichord, Mr. Goldberg, and he would play for him some music at 3 or 4 in the morning. So not an easy job for a musician. So Bach thought, this is the continuation of the quote, Bach thought that he would best be able to comply with this wish by composing variations, work which he had hitherto regarded as thankless in view of the unchanging nature of the underlying harmony. When the composition was finished, Bach received a golden goblet filled with 100 ducats, so which was quite a large sum actually. Now it's a great story, but it's probably not true for one simple reason that when you look at the score of the Goldberg variations, there is no dedication to the count. And we really think nowadays that if really Bach received such a large payment, he would have dedicated the piece to him. The second problem is that Mr. Goldberg, when the piece that was apparently written to him for him, was at the time when this piece was published in 1741, about 13 years old. And it's very unlikely, even though he was a prodigious musician, it's very unlikely that he would have been able to master the complexities of this piece. The last issue with this is that Bach included the Goldberg variations into his so-called Klavierilbum, which is a cycle of pieces including partitas, Italian concerto, French overture, many others. Kind of the crowning achievements of Bach, for the keyboard, and they were not dedicated to anybody. So we think that really Bach wanted to write, as a last piece, in this stunning cycle. He just wanted to write a piece for himself, and not really be beholden to anybody else. So this piece was, of course, not written for the modern piano. It was written for the harpsichord. It was written for harpsichord with 2 manuals, with 2 keyboards. So when pianists play this piece, we deal with a lot of complexities, because you will see it actually when I perform. Very often there are lots of situations when the hands kind of run into each other. And this is much easier to do when you are playing the 2 manual harpsichord, because the hands are kind of on 2 levels, so to speak. But with piano, the hands literally run into each other. They kind of slam into each other. So it's quite a challenge to play this piece on the piano. I had to kind of change some things, change some fingerings, change some distributions. But I do feel like this piece works really well for the piano. There are, of course, very many famous recordings of this piece. And I learned this piece during the pandemic, actually, because it was a kind of a bleak time artistically, because I didn't, of course, have any concerts, and for musicians without performances, it's very hard to actually keep the inspiration. So I started kind of learning them, bit by bit, and over time was able to actually, play the whole piece. Well, this will be, in fact, today is the first performance of the piece. I hope you enjoy Bach's Goldberg Variations. This is I will probably play it without many of the repeats. You are actually supposed to repeat all the variations, but that would be like a 80-90 minute piece of music. So I think I will omit some variations, omit some repeats in those variations, and so that we can move a little bit faster, because I think this piece works very well that way as well. So I hope you enjoy. This is Johann Sebastian Bach Goldberg Variations, BWV 988. So this was Bach's Goldberg Variations, and I hope you enjoyed the journey as much as I did. It's very interesting once you actually get to the last aria and you repeat it. It sounds like a completely different piece, because we have been through all these 30 radical different transformations, and it's really quite a journey. So I hope you enjoyed the piece. I'm supposed to tell you that you're all supposed to go to the Zoom link where the reception is going to take place. And I'm also supposed to tell you that Bill and Jackie accept donations on behalf of artists, and they match those donations. So if you're willing to help people like me, other artists, your contributions are very much appreciated. So again, thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see some of you in the Zoom reception. Thank you very much.